Yeah.
But
any other books? Anybody else got a recommendation for Bizuk?
I was trying to think where to transition from there. It's like I do want to read the book that Dave Chappelle was recommending on the special. I think it was just called Pimp, right?
Yeah, I read that one, and there's a good documentary on Iceberg Slim that he put together himself. You could watch that and see if that interests you to watch or read the book. But it is like it details out pretty literally how these guys are able to get women to work and give them money from their bodies. And I had no idea. Like you always hear the games be sold, not told. But I had no idea that there was a legitimate like history and game to like how they get that. And one of the most incredible points that he said in the book was that the women who are being pimped are ones that are looking for the easy way out. So there's a specific type of person they go after, and they said if a woman doesn't want to look for the easy way out, she can't be pimped. So they have to want to be pimped. You know, which kind of goes in line with like for example, if I'm downtrodden, but I see a drug dealer, I know he's gonna be dead in 30 days, but he has all this money and gold. I don't want to go work. I don't want to go to school. I'd rather ride wave from wave to wave. Those are the kinds of women they were saying are people. They said like that psychology is a quote unquote pimpable psychology, and that was really kind of what. Dave Chappelle didn't say that explicitly, but after I read it and kind of thought about that in context, I mean, I think that can apply in like any industry, right? Somebody who's looking to somebody else to take on the accountability can essentially get pimped, get, steamrolled for a promotion, can get, screwed on finances. Like it's a mindset, but the book I think is a good read because it's a part of the American story, and it talks a little bit about the history of like post-slavery and how pimping started, like how it kind of blew up after post-slavery from like a lot of the, uh, white men who still had their lust for black women, and these black men that did not want to work for white people who were ex-slaves, they capitalized on that opportunity. And it's a pretty deep book, man. I probably have my daughters read it in high school.
Nice.
You gotta know. You gotta know. You gotta know. You gotta know.
I thought it was just that I was watching what's that? I think it was Pimps Up, Hoes Down, HBO. Yes, the legendary HBO documentary. And it was a scene where I don't know at what stage of being in the game this woman was, but this pimp was just talking to her. It was almost like a torture tactic that you use for a prisoner of war or something. He's just like constantly in her ear, just talking. And then, like flipping these words and all this, and she's just like, yeah. I was like, no wonder you get sucked in. That's just somebody like just this repetitive, just and just right there in your ear. I thought that had to be a part of the process that just kind of like break you down, shake you up. You can't even think. You can't, like you're trying to maybe come up with an argument, but your mind is too slow because he's over to the next topic, and you're like, well, how do I do the next thing? You wearing a leotard and your booty's out, and you got on some thigh-high boots, and you're like, how did I end up? I assume you're like, how did I end up here? But no, I'm sure your what you talked about probably has a lot more to it because you got to agree to that.
You have to agree to it, and it's kind of like I often got the vibe of the Stockholm syndrome a lot as I was going through, right? And I'm one of those people who think like if it happens in one type of situation, it may be more fluid than we imagine. We just haven't context in this situation, but it could easily be the same exact mechanism in pimping. Eventually, like I remember Dave Chappelle said it like in one of the things in the book was like you beat somebody and then you help them. I was like, geez, like that, like, is that something that's true about human beings? Like I need to watch out for when I have these crazy situations with somebody who has a little status how they treat me afterwards, does that make me kind of forgive what happened? Because I want to kind of remove myself from that bad accident, or whatever. But
so that actually reminds me of another book that actually Dave Chappelle recommended as well. The Narrative and Life of Frederick Douglass, which I did listen to not too long ago. That's a really great book. I recommend that. Written by Frederick Douglass. The dude is a great writer.
One of the greatest.
And one of the points that he made in the book I thought was interesting, because I always like to take those like recontextualizations, which I think is one of the things we enjoy doing as a group, is he was saying that for when he was a slave, when it got to be around the holidays, Christmas time, their masters would give them a few days off, so to speak, right? And they would encourage them to drink and gamble and like release steam, right? This is your release valve. And then after they spent all what little money they had and got drunk, it was like, all right, come back and work for me, right? Like, aren't I a great slave master? Like, didn't I look at the time off I gave you, right? And be grateful. And that made me think of like work Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Look at all the booze we have for you guys.
Yeah.
Are we a great job?
Yeah.
No bonuses this year, though.
No promotions, no bonuses, but
Yeah.
all the booze we got.
Yeah. Man, we're taking you to Six Flags, guys.
Snacks.
Like a 60-year-old engineer. Six Flags. Come on, we're going to Six Flags. All right. And you're wearing a Six Flags shirt from 1984. No, I remember that too. And the other thing I thought about that part of the story was, and he said that they were some. I read an article on it, and they were saying they were trying to connect the alcohol abuse early stages of it during those holidays and periods, because there was some plantation. They said that they were, if you didn't drink, then they would find ways to kind of like, I guess, get ramifications. So they wanted you so drunk that you couldn't think of anything to do to get away if you wanted to, right? Or if you went down the street to see your family, you had to have a bottle of whatever they had to, you were inebriated. So you were defenseless versus the situation you were in. And I thought about that in context to like how much of that has kind of kicked off the wrong behaviors in our community with drinking, on top of everything. But I mean, it wasn't as funny as the work party thing. But I mean, I feel that way anyway. Like when I tell my friends it's like corporate plantation, all my friends laugh, and I'm like, I mean, it's a newer form of it, right? I mean,
we cut to a boardroom. All right, everybody. Everybody got your bottles. Look down under your seat if you haven't already. You got some got a little Hennessy down there for you, John.
Thanks.
Got a little vodka down there for you, Amici. Oh, I know you're a whiskey drinker, Antoine. Look down under that chair. You got
look at that.
Go ahead, you guys, and got some cups there, got some ice. If you want, go ahead and pour yourself up a drink. We're just gonna kick back and relax for this meeting. Why, yes, we are.
I see that you have some cranberry juice in front of you. Is there?
Are you gonna borrow some of Michi's vodka? Or?
No, I'm not gonna mix. I'm just gonna have this cranberry juice. Doctor told me to slow down a little bit. Can't do too much of this.
It's also 9:15 in the morning. A little early for.
No, but let's go ahead and get it started now. We got a long day ahead of us. Come on.
How about we just wait to drink after we get done with all the financials?
Yeah, see, you booked this 2-hour meeting. I'd rather,
Well, I mean, part of the. I figured we'd relax for the first few minutes, have a couple of drinks, kick it, and then we'll get into the agenda there. Everybody's got an agenda, but go ahead and
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna finish my coffee first and get my coffee going, and then I'll pour myself a little glass. All right.
I told Melanie to not make coffee this morning. I
brought my own. I brought my own.
What can I do? Yeah,
it was weird too because she like grabbed my hand when I was walking in. I was like, "If you want coffee, I could have brought you some." I don't know. You gotta talk to her. But yeah.
I'm gonna finish my breakfast sandwich as well.
Feel free to get started.
Yeah, I took a couple
haven't had breakfast yet. So
yeah. I popped the salt tablet, so I'm pretty good on hydration.
But look at the agenda. First, it says drinks and spirits, chatting, sharing our day, and then we get into the actual meeting. I don't want to skip ahead to the actual meeting. I want you guys to enjoy that because it's kind of part of the meeting. I want you guys to be loose. We got a lot of important things to talk about.
All right, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Tandy, I think you want us to have a drinking problem. I think you do. I think you want us to always be drinking, always be drunk, and possibly use that to your advantage. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, guys, it's early in the morning. I just had my coffee. I'm feeling honest.
Listen, let me close the door here. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? We got a sizable chunk of money from the government, okay, to help employees with drinking and other substance abuse problems. And
do you have a wire, Tandy? Are you wearing a wire or something? You sound pretty.
There's no wire. I'm just telling you guys. Listen, we've got money. We don't have one drunk or anybody that we can report and put in our report so that it can justify this 2.8 billion that we received from the government. All right,
2.8 billion.
Yes,
the government has that.
We're gonna have to give it back if we don't have at least one person with a drinking problem.
Is that the government right there?
That's why I'm muting the call because we can't have that. All right.
We cut to the government. All right, listen, guys. What are we gonna do about this 2.8 billion that we flubbed and sent this company? I mean, I'm gonna lose my job if we can't get this money back, or they're gonna have to produce some drunks.
I mean, we probably shouldn't have been drunk at the time we were doing it. That's probably the problem.
It sounded hilarious at the time, but
that was great.
Why did we start drinking at 9:15 in the morning? It's such a bad idea.
I don't know. I remember one of us was just like, "Yo, let's send 2.8 billion dollars to this company that makes cups of all kinds and see what they do." And I thought it was a great idea, a great American experiment.
Well, we definitely laughed for like 20 minutes over the idea, so I can't argue that it wasn't a great idea.
We thought there'd be so many cups.
I'm about to lose my job if we don't produce some stats here, guys. I need at least 100 drunks signed up at that company, or we got to find a way to get that money back, man.
We cut back to the meeting. So I'm sure these geniuses, I mean, these people who came up with this idea, were very concerned and committed to the idea of us helping people who really need it. And they picked this company. I'm sure it was some well thought out plan. They did a lot of research and they said, where is our money best spent? Okay. And
it sounds like the government.
Yeah.
I'm so convinced of that. All right. So if I could at least get you three guys, and if maybe you can get your families or other people that because it includes your family and your relations, just like your health insurance.
Now, Tandy, you know that my family has a history of drugs and abusing alcohol. I cannot walk into my house and do that.
That's good. No, go ahead and put their names down. They've got a history. That's great, John. How many people is that? I need 100.
So that's essentially what we're saying happened. The government was in on the Christmas parties and the drunken slaves. Let's just call it what it is.